Here are 3 cool ways to lace Nike BLAZER mids, including loose lacing, bar lacing, and diamond lacing. Timestamps for each are down below, let's get into it. Here's how to loose lace Nike BLAZERs. Begin by taking hold of your lace, and what we're going to do is thread each lace end down into the 2 very bottom eyelets here from above, just like this. So pull one through, but don't pull it through all the way. Just pop it out the way. Swap to the other one. Bring it down into that eyelet from above, just like we did. And don't pull this one through all the way either. Instead, once you've done that, take a hold of them. Make sure they're of equal length in your hand. Then grab your sneaker and just pull that lace through. And what this will do is make sure your laces come out of equal length. If yours haven't, don't worry about it. Just pause the video and make sure yours are of equal length before we carry on. There's literally no rush. Then what we're going to do is keep a hold of this lace and we're going to bring it over the sneaker tongue and down into the next empty eyelet on this side. So the second up from the bottom. Then we're going to pull that through. And we're going to make sure we leave a little bit of slack here because this is a loose lace style. You don't ever want to pull these laces through too tight or it'll be tricky for you to get your foot in and out. Pop that lace out the way, swap to the other one, and we're going to do the same on this side. Bring the lace end down into the second eyelet up from the bottom, pulling it through, but making sure there's enough slack there, just like that. Awesome. Then keep a hold of this lace. And we're going to repeat that. Bring it over the sneaker tongue, down into the third eyelet up from the bottom. Just like this, making sure there's enough slack. Pop it out the way, swap to the other one, and we're going to do the exact same. Bring it over the sneaker tongue and down into the third eyelet from above on the other side. Now, remember, you can play this video on a half speed or pause as much as you want. There's no rush, just go at your own pace. Then we're going to keep a hold of this one. Do the same. Bring it over the sneaker tongue, down into the next empty eyelet. Like this. Making sure it's kind of loose. Swap to the other one. Do the same on the other side. Down into the next empty eyelet. Awesome. Keep hold of this one. Bring it over and down into the next empty eyelet. Looking good. Swap back to the other one and bring it down into the next empty eyelet on the other side. Now you always want to be following this pattern along with me to make sure the same laces are always on top. So just stop here and make sure that your laces are always crossing in the exact same way and the same one's always on top. If it is, let's carry on. Take hold of this lace, bring it over the sneaker tongue, down into the next empty eyelet. Looking good. Pulling it through, swap back to the other guy, bring it over, down into the next empty eyelet. And we're just going to be repeating this pattern all the way up until we get to the very top eyelet. When we do, stop there. Keep hold of this lace, bring it over, down to the next empty eyelet, swap back to the other one, bring it over, down into the next empty eyelet. Looking good. Then we're going to keep a hold of this lace, bring it over, down to the next empty eyelet, pop it out the way, swap back to this one, bring it over and down to the next empty eyelet. Now we're going to keep a hold of this lace, bring it over the sneaker tongue, down to the next empty eyelet, looking good. Swap back to the other one, bring it over the sneaker tongue, down into the next empty eyelet here, looking good. And then we're going to do something a little bit different now that we've reached the top eyelets. We're going to take hold of this lace and we're going to bring it up into that top eyelet from underneath. Just wiggle it through. And we're going to pull it through to about this much here. Then we're going to do the same with the other one. Bring it over the sneaker tongue and up into that final eyelet. Pull it through about this much here, till they're about equal on either side. Now we'll have some excess lace here, and all we're going to do is go back down through the pattern and adjust those laces to account for that extra slack, making sure that they all come out kind of loose, if that makes sense. And just take a few minutes to keep adjusting those laces to make sure that your foot can slip in and out without any problems. Once you've done that and made sure your foot can slip in and out with any problems, repeat on the other shoe and you'll have a really awesome pair of loose lace Nike Blazers. If you found the info in this video helpful, please hit the like button for me to help it reach more people, and consider subscribing for more sneaker lacing inspo. I have loads of videos available for you guys. Thanks! Here's how to bar lace Nike Blazers so they slip on. Start by taking a lace, and we're going to feed each lace end down into the two very bottom eyelets here on either side, from above like this. So pull that one through, but don't pull it through all the way. Chuck it out the way. Swap to the other one and feed that lace end down in the other side. And again, don't pull it through all the way. Instead, once you've done that, take a hold of the two laces in your hands, make sure they're equal length. Then grab the sneaker and pull all that excess lace through. And what this will mean is your laces will come out of equal length. If they haven't, don't worry about it. Just take a minute to make sure your laces are equal length before we start. Just pause the video. Great. Then we're going to keep a hold of this lace, and what we're going to do for bar lacing is we're going to skip an eyelet on this side, and instead we're going to focus on the third one here up from the bottom, and we're going to take this lace end and bring it up into it from underneath, if that makes sense. So pull that through until you've got it looking like this, and then we're going to bring this lace over the sneaker tongue and down into the corresponding eyelet on the other side. So that will be the third one up from the bottom on this side. Pull it through and we'll have a bar there. And then we're going to fill in these two empty holes here with the other lace. So take the other lace and we're going to bring the lace end up into this one first on this side from underneath. Just peel back the side and pull it up through. And then we're going to fill in the other hole on the other side to make another bar. So just bring that lace end down into it. Pull that all the way through. If your laces get any twists, don't worry about it. Just take a second to undo it. It happens all the time. Now keep in mind that you can pause the video as often as you need or play on half speed. There's literally no rush. Go at your own pace. Now we're going to keep a hold of this lace and we're going to repeat what we just did. We're going to skip an eyelet on this side and instead focus on the one just above that. And we're going to bring our lace end up into it from underneath. Like this. Awesome. Then we're going to take it over the sneaker tongue and down into the corresponding lace eyelet on the other side, like this. Great. And then we're going to do what we did before with the other lace. So swap to this one and we're going to fill in these two holes. So take this lace end up into this one first from underneath, pull it through, and then we're going to bring it over the sneaker tongue and down to fill in the empty one here. Looking good. Then take this lace end and just feed it underneath this bar here to make sure it's got free range of movement. And we're going to repeat the pattern again, guys. We're going to skip this eyelet here and instead focus on the one above it. So bring that lace end up through it from underneath. Looking good. And then we're going to bring it down into the corresponding eyelet on the other side. Now it does help when you get to this point because the shoe gets a little bit narrower and it might affect the length of your bars if you shove a pair of socks down behind the sneaker tongue if you have one on hand. If not, don't worry too much about it, but just be aware your bars may come out a little bit smaller and you might have to adjust them. Awesome. Swap back to this other lace and we're going to take the lace end and fill in the holes. So bring it up through this one first from underneath. Take it over the sneaker tongue and down into the empty eyelet on this side. Looking good. And then we're going to take the lace end, feed it underneath this bar so it can move. And we're going to repeat that pattern again. Skip this eyelet, focus on the one above it, bring the lace end through it from underneath. Bring it over the sneaker tongue, down into the corresponding eyelet on the other side. Looking good. And then we're just going to pop this lace end out the way. Swap back to the other one and we're going to fill in the holes. Bring the lace end up through it from underneath. over the sneaker tongue and down into the next empty eyelet on the other side. Pull it through. And then what we're going to do is just feed it underneath this lace here. And then we're going to do something a little bit different to fill in the top holes. Because there's not a hole to skip this time, there's only this one left. We're going to take the lace end up through it from underneath. And then we're going to bring it over the sneaker tongue and down into the final eyelet on the other side here. Looking good. Now, what you might want to do here is just adjust your bars so that they're all sitting of equal distance between each other, like I'm doing here. And when that's looking nice and good, take these lace ends and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with them. You can tie them into a little loose knot. And then we're just going to tuck that knot down inside the sneaker, behind the sneaker tongue. And it'll just sit out of sight and it'll mean your pattern won't come loose. Now those laces are really soft, it shouldn't bother your foot at all. And it'll mean that you can just slip your foot in and out of the shoe each time without the need for tying. Repeat on the other sneaker and you'll have a really awesome pair of bar lace Nike Blazers. If you found the info in this video helpful, please hit the like button for me to help it reach more people and consider subscribing for more sneaker lacing content. I have tons of videos available for you guys. Thanks! Here's how to diamond lace Nike Blazers. Start by taking your lace and we're going to take this one lace end and what we're going to do is feed it down into this eyelet at the very bottom here from above like that. I'm going to pull it through a little bit and then we're going to bring it up into this very bottom eyelet on the other side from underneath, if that makes sense. So down into that one from above, up into that one from underneath, and we're just going to pull that lace through a little bit. Then what we're going to do is bring our two lace ends together like this, hold them at equal length, and take this loop and just yank it out a little bit like that. Grab the sneaker, keep these two lace ends pinched, and just pull them all the way through. And what this will do is mean your laces will come out of equal length before we start. If they haven't, don't worry about it at all, just take a minute, pause the video, make sure each lace end is of equal length before we carry on, there's no rush. Then what we're going to do is we're going to heap a hold of this lace and we're going to bring it over the sneaker tongue and down into the third eyelet up from the bottom. On this side, from above, like this, so just pull that through. And we're going to do the same with the other one, so swap to the other lace, count the third eyelet up from the bottom on the other side, and take that lace end down into it from above, pulling it all the way through. Great. Then we're going to swap back to this lace, keep a hold of it, and we're going to fill in this little empty eyelet here by coming up into it from underneath, if that makes sense. So take this lace end down underneath this little X shape we've made and bring it up through that empty eyelet from underneath. Looking good. Swap back to the other one and do the exact same. Take the lace end underneath the little X here and bring it through that lace end, that eyelet from underneath. That makes sense. And it should look like this. Now keep in mind you can pause this video whenever you need or play it on a half speed, just go at a speed that suits you. Great, so we're going to keep a hold of this lace and we're going to repeat that pattern. We're going to bring it over the sneaker tongue, but we're going to make sure to skip an eyelet and instead take the lace end down into the eyelet above that. Like this, if you see what I mean, leaving that one empty. Swap back to the other lace and do the same on the other side. Skip the next empty eyelet and instead take the lace end down into the one above that, just like this. Great. Then we're going to swap back to this lace and we're going to bring it underneath the little crosses we've made here and up into that empty eyelet from underneath. And same on the other side. So take it under there, through that eyelet from underneath. Great, we're doing well. Now we're going to keep a hold of this lace and we're going to repeat the pattern. We're going to take it over the sneaker tongue, skip an eyelet here and go down into the next available one. Looking good. Swap to the other one, skip an eyelet and take it down to the one above that. Great. Just take a second to adjust the diamond pattern, but you can really see it forming now and it's looking really good. Keep hold of this lace and we're going to bring it underneath here and up through the empty eyelet. and the same on the other side. Take the lace end, bring it underneath and up through the empty eyelet. Great. Now we're going to keep a hold of this lace and we're going to repeat the pattern again. We're going to skip the next empty eyelet, instead take the lace end down into the one above that. Looking good. Same on the other side, bring it over, skip the next empty eyelet and instead take it down into the one above that. Great. Swap back to the other lace and we're going to bring it underneath and up through the empty eyelet to fill it in just like we've been doing, and the same on the other side. Take the lace end underneath and up through the empty eyelet. Now we're going to do something a little bit different to finish off the pattern here. We're going to take a hold of this lace end, and as you'll see there's only one eyelet left, and we're just going to bring the lace end down into that instead of skipping one this time, and the same on the other side. Bring the lace end down into the final eyelet just to finish off the pattern. And double check you like how the diamonds are coming out. And then what you can do is just take hold of these laces and bow them as you usually would. Tie a little bow. And then to make the pattern look really crisp, simply tuck that bow behind the sneaker tongue out of sight, and it will hold the pattern in place for you so it doesn't come loose. Now the laces are super soft on blazers, and that little bow shouldn't bother the top of your foot at all, and you'll just be able to slip your foot in and out. Repeat on your other sneaker and you'll have a really awesome pair of diamond lace Nike blazers. If you found the info in this video helpful, please hit the like button for me to help it reach more people, and consider subscribing for more sneaker lacing content. I have tons of videos available to help inspire you guys. Thanks!